So, in a recent BCG report, they found that organizations that have above average diversity scores have reported 45% average innovation revenue. That's nearly half of their total revenue that's driven by new products or services. And that's compared to organizations that had below average diversity and innovation scores, where they only reported about 26% in innovation revenue. Now, if we think about this from a startup's perspective, how many people are trying to create something new and innovative, something that hasn't been seen in the market? Well, this could be the thing that really differentiates yourselves. When we talk about diverse teams that are able to drive innovation, these diverse teams may be the difference between being able to come up with that new feature that really sets you apart from all of your competitors. It could be the difference in finding a solution so that you can extend your cash flow by 6 months, giving you that much more runway to really make a difference in your startup. It could be the difference of you being a part of the 5% of startups that really succeed versus the 95% that we often see not succeed. So, how do I go about building a diverse team now? I'll give you 3 things to think about and some key actions that you can actually take away and start building those diverse teams. I want you actually to think about it starting with inclusivity. When you're trying to recruit an individual that comes from a more diverse background than yourselves or the existing team members, if they don't feel included in the beginning of the process, you probably won't recruit them. And if you do happen to recruit them, when they get into your office environment and they don't feel included in your socials, in your team building events, in those waterside chats, then more likely than not, they're going to leave your teams as well. And so when we think about how to create an inclusive culture, this is where that growth mindset really comes in to make a difference. A growth mindset is a frame of thinking where abilities, intelligence, knowledge, and understanding can all be built and learned through effort, good strategies, and actually just doing something and giving it a try, seeking input. So when we look at somebody with a growth mindset, individuals tend to think, what am I missing? Whether that's perspective, experience, or input, they always ask, what am I missing? And then seek to get that information to make their product, service, or idea better. People with growth mindsets often understand that this might take some time. So they're not thrown off by the fact that they had one bad experience or one bad go. They understand that this is a learning process and a journey that they need to take in order to really see something fruitful come out of it. People with growth mindsets also understand that mistakes will help them learn. We're not perfect. We're human beings and we're incredibly complex. So we won't ever do it right the first time. Definitely not. But when you think about if I want to build a diverse team in an inclusive environment, I have to be able to understand that I may make mistakes sometimes, and that's okay, but I want to learn from them. And that becomes even more important as you begin to scale your team. Yourselves, your leaders, also have to take this mindset when you're working with individuals to really foster that culture of inclusivity. If something's done that is viewed as a mistake, if something is said or a team event is held where it might be feel a bit exclusive, that's okay. We're all prone to our unconscious bias. The difference is if you're taking that to say, is this an opportunity that I can help learn or help my team members learn from the experience? So now that I have you thinking about inclusivity first, and that's going to be the driver around building truly diverse teams, here's 3 things that I want to walk you through and some key action items. First, we need to start again with that self-awareness that we can develop and engage in that growth mindset. And it's as simple as this. Take a moment and take a look at your networks. Who are you reaching out to when you have a role to fill? Is it people that you already know, people who have similar experiences than you? Ask yourself, is my network diverse? And if the answer is no, then that could be the root of some of your diversity and inclusion issues today. Take the time to understand your unconscious biases. These do exist. And there's a whole bunch of research and papers around learning about what unconscious bias means and how you can cut that off. But the point is that they do exist. And until you acknowledge and understand what they are, you can't be proactive and intentional in making sure that you're avoiding those and creating a truly inclusive culture. go of the fear of doing it wrong. Take that growth mindset approach and remember that every opportunity that you may have made a mistake is okay if your intention is to learn and grow from it. That creates that inclusive culture. Second, understand your diversity gaps so that you can actually foster an inclusive culture. What does this mean? Again, simple action items that you can take away today. Attend community groups, events, workshops from underrepresented communities and marginalized communities. They will share their stories, their knowledge, their experience, their perspective, so that you can take this away and understand a little bit more of something and an experience that you never had understanding to, and build that into your own culture and your own programs to make sure that you don't have unconscious bias replicated throughout your organization. Grab a coffee from an underrepresented advocate. Sit down and say, you know what, I'm trying to achieve this. I'd love your perspective. I would love your feedback. The reality is this. We all know that there are moments where you've never felt like you've belonged. And if only you had the opportunity to say something and share that knowledge, to say, this is what you could have done a little bit differently so that I felt a little bit more welcome and so that I really could have contributed in my idea that might have changed the game for you. Check in every once in a while. Before you send out a communication, before you create a program, take that 30 seconds to ask yourself, is this inclusive? Last piece, review and build inclusive programs and processes. And that could be something as you're working through numbers 1 and 2. Because the reality is this, there are key foundational processes and programs within your organization for your talent that are going to make or break whether or not you're providing an inclusive experience and therefore able to attract and retain those diverse talents. So look at your recruiting process. Is it inclusive? Are you using inclusive language? Are you reaching out to other communities and networks that you would have never reached out to before? If not, take the opportunity to change that. Invest in your leadership early on. Your leaders are going to be the ones that are going to foster that culture of inclusivity. They're going to be the ones managing your employees. And they may be the ones that either make or break the experience for that amazing diverse talent that you want to keep. But because of 1 or 2 bad instances, that individual had to stop and think and say, is this the right place for me? Seek input from all of your employees. And don't be afraid of the bad stuff, the bad feedback. That bad feedback, if taken with a growth mindset, is actually what's going to help you change and come up with the solution so that you really foster and live and breathe that inclusive culture. The right mindset with an inclusive culture actually gives you the ability to build and retain diverse teams. So don't be afraid of doing it wrong. Don't be afraid of not having the solution. Get started now and start learning and growing and really creating that inclusive culture so you can see how your diverse teams can thrive. Thank you.